President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to complete the dualization of the 375.9 kilometers Abuja-Kaduna-Zaria-Kano Federal Highway. The federal government has commenced immediate work on the dualization of the uncompleted section of the highway from Abuja to Kano in the northwest geopolitical zone of the country. The Minister of Works, Senator Nweze David Umahi, said this during the flag-off of the completion of the Abuja-Kaduna-Zaria-Kano Highway and the site handover of the 38-kilometer dual carriageway section of the road to Dangote Group of Companies at Change 000 Zuba on 27th of July 2024. Speaking during the flag-off, the handover ceremony, the minister charged the three companies handling the three sections of the project to show absolute devotion to the completion of the project.
The project started with a mere rehabilitation under the past administration for 155 billion, and later they expanded the scope and the price was increased to 655 billion. And when we came on board September last year, Beja made their request for a reviewed price of 1.5 trillion, and that's where the quarrel started. And so but we've been able to agree. And then we got an independent, consultant, Yolas, who reviewed the project with Beja and with Ministry of Works.
The minister used the opportunity to launch the federal government Operation Free Our Roads, which is aimed at making sure that all the federal roads under rehabilitation are made motorable starting from this rainy season. While at the section handled by Julius Berger PLC, the minister commended the contractors for already starting work and doing a good job, and maintained that the federal government expected the entire project to be completed and delivered by May 2025.
Any place that we have challenges after the next 2 weeks, we will record the controller and record the director, and that will not be good, for us. So they have to take this thing very seriously. So this first 8 kilometers, the contractors are fully mobilized, and the first thing they will do on both carriageways will be to free the roads.
The federal government has announced plans to digitalize 800% of government activities by next year as part of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration's drive towards modernizing Nigeria's public sector. The project aims to enhance efficiency, reduce corruption, improve transparency, and bring Nigeria's public sector in line with global best practices in e-governance. Speaking during the opening of a digitalization training program for staff of the office, Vice President at the State House Conference Hall, Deputy Chief of Staff to the Nigerian President, Office of the Vice President, Senator Hassan Ibrahim Hadeja, said there was an urgent need to transform government operations using digital technologies. The Deputy Chief of Staff noted the necessity of leading by example, saying if you have a state house that is digitized or has gone paperless, every agency and everybody will be forced to comply. He stressed that compliance must be enforced across all ministries, departments and agencies to ensure the initiative's success.
And by embracing this at the highest level, which is the State House, I can assure you that what this process will be doing to our e-governance program is probably something that has not been done in the last 10 or 15 years. So I want you to take this thing very seriously. The PAMSEC is serious, the ICT department is serious. Yes, there are issues around transitioning, before you now go paperless. But these are all things that we are not going to say by next week everybody should adopt.
Right on this system, put computer-aided design, put the application there. You will locate the coordinate, you will locate the town, you will get the spot time, you will get the contour, you will get your profile. You can finish everything in a matter of hours and the drawing is out. So if I want to do design now, number one, it becomes cheaper for you to do. Isn't it? Because there's no field work to do. It becomes faster. if I want to now walk by the pace of the yesteryears, I will be useless.
The National University Commission, NUC, has officially recognized the Kwara State University of Education as the 274th university in Nigeria. This development aims to create more admission opportunities for qualified students seeking tertiary educations in the country. Acting Executive Secretary of the Commission, Chris Miyaki, while presenting the operational license to the Governor of Kwara State in Abuja, noted that the total number of universities in Nigeria now stands at 274, with 64 being state-owned. Miyaki urged the Governor to provide sustainable financial resources for the university's survival, assuring that NUC would continue to work with the states to ensure the university's success. He also stated that the National Youth Service Corps, Joint Admission and Matriculation Board (JAM) and the Tertiary Education Trust Fund (TETFund) will accord the university necessary recognition.
National universities are commissioned to inform His Excellency that with effect from today, Tuesday, the 30th of July 2024, Kwara State University of Education, Kwara State has, with immediate effect, been recognized as the 64th state university.
The Deputy Governor of Kwara State, Kayode Alabi, expressed gratitude to the Commission for their thorough scrutiny and consideration which led to the university's approval.
It's something that we start, we will not finish. We believe in giving the children sound education. The future of any country is education. And I remember some years back when they asked Mr. Blair, what's his free program? He said education, education, and education. We also count on stakeholders, and including Starters Fund and AUC.
Residents of Lagos State are lamenting the time they have to wait to get food. They have confirmed that the waiting time has lessened compared to last week. Galaxy's Ribami Salako tells us more in this report.
The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited and oil marketers blame fuel scarcity on the disruption of supply at key depot in Lagos and Abuja. However tangible the reason might be, the development have caused inconvenience to many Nigerians trying to get fuel. Experts have advocated activation of modular refineries and responsible handling of seized crude oil from theft to reduce constant scarcity of fuel, but till that is considered, hiking transportation cost and waste of productive hours is the attendant consequences, which according to respondents, is getting better.
I've been staying here not quite long, at least 15 minutes ago, and the queue is moving. I learned they are not selling kegs, and the queue is moving gradually. Hopefully, in the next another 15 minutes, I should be buying fuel. And they are selling at the NNPC regulated price, that's 568 naira. So, hopefully, things will get better in Nigeria.
On Friday, I came out to go to Lekki. When I got there, I was there for since 5 o'clock till around 11:30 before they close the filling station.
The fairly reduced time at filling station has been credited to refusal to sell to customers with kegs, leaving questions of how they would power the generator sets.
I've been queuing since 12. We started from Abattoir, that side. It has been moving, but you notice most cars are leaving due to the fact that they are not selling jerry cans. So this, I don't think, is improving at all. At least those who have generators at home, that's why they are carrying, they are lining up. They refuse to sell.
This is one of the fueling stations we visited today, and we see that people are still queuing for fuel, but they testify to the fact that compared to what they faced last week, things are getting significantly better. However, for people carrying jerry cans, the case is completely different because some of the fueling stations are not selling to people with jerry cans, and it raises question, how are they going to power their generator sets and other things that uses petrol? Ireba Misalako, Galaxy TV News, Lagos.
The Nigerian Correctional Service declares that all custodial centers have been designated. All right, we'll go on a quick break and we'll return. The news continues. But before then, coming up next. It is of these more we come to you shortly. To stay with us. We're glad to have you back. Now, for more updates and latest news, please visit our website www.galaxytvonline.com. Connect with us on our X handle at Galaxy TV. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/GalaxyTVNews. You can follow and interact with us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/GalaxyTV. Don't forget to follow and tag us on our Instagram page at Galaxy TV. You can also avail our eyewitness feature via WhatsApp. If you have breaking news around you, simply share your story by sending short clips or videos of the news on 0818-666-669. Our social media platforms are user-friendly and can always accommodate your live updates and comments. And now details to the previous story. In view of the purported national protest scheduled to hold on the first day of August 2024, the Nigerian Correctional Service has declared that the custodial centers have been designated as red zones, warning that any person or group of persons who have no business whatsoever should stay clear. The service, in a statement issued and signed by its Public and Relations Officer and Assistant Controller of Corrections, Abubakar Umar, enjoined the public that custodial and non-custodial centers are critical national assets with germane to public safety as well as national security. It stated that tampering with or attacking them will lead to breakdown of law and order and further exacerbate the security of the society in general. The service strongly advised all members of the public to join hands with the service to ensure the protection of correctional facilities, adding that adequate security arrangements have been put in place to ensure that no correctional facility is defiled. The service added that the Ministry of Interior Joint Task Force has been activated to provide extra security in and around custodial facilities nationwide. The North Central Youth Council of Nigeria has distanced itself and all its members from the planned nationwide protest scheduled for August 1st to 8, 2024. Addressing journalists in Abuja on Tuesday, the national president of the body, Comrade Sunday Asuku, stated that inasmuch as the council fully agreed that the country is passing through hard times, unity and support for the government to succeed should be concerted, while Nigerians should keep working, praying and hoping for a better country. It disclosed that the decision to pull out of the protest premised on the fact that the peace and unity of the country is at rise, noting that all indigenous youth from the North Central region of Nigeria have been advised and warned not to join any protest in the name of hunger, insecurity or whatsoever, especially at this fragile period when the atmosphere is tensed.
In lieu of their formation, the leadership of the North Central Youth Council hereby dissociates and distance herself from the purported national protest as it doesn't promise to solve in any way the artificial problems facing us as a country. As much as we fully agree that the country is passing through hard times, our unity and support for the government at this time to succeed should be concerted while we keep working assiduously, praying and hoping for a better Nigeria.
Not only that, the body, while commending the efforts of Tinubu's government to stabilize the dwindling economy, it appealed passionately that the government should put in more measures capable of addressing the rising cost of living, just as it promised to continue to monitor heads of MDAs, ministries, agencies, among others, to ensure that they are not sabotaging the frantic effort of the government for their personal gains.
States within the North Central region have unanimously agreed. We have held our congresses at the state level, and this is our unanimous decision that the country is tensed for now. The atmosphere is tensed, and protest of any kind is not healthy for us. The last time we checked, the resultant effect of HENSAS is still yet to, to leave some people. Some people are still bearing the brunt. Some people's shops was raised, they raised down some people's shops. Some people's business spaces were looted, and what have you.
Organizers of the proposed End Bad Governance in Nigeria have condemned the current harassment they have been subjected to by security agencies in the country. This was revealed at the press conference held by the coalition of youth, civil society, socialist and radical groups behind the planned nationwide protest slated for August 1st. Galaxy News correspondent Lebby Joseph has more.
The coalition said at the press conference that they are not anti-government agents, but are only concerned about the living condition of Nigerians, which has gone completely bad in recent times. The coalition frowned at various harassment and name-calling from government establishments, especially security agencies.
Dignity left in them ought to be nauseated by the event of the last few weeks in our country. What is at stake right now is not whether this protest is right or not. What is at stake right now is whether we as the Nigerian people are free or we are slaves in our own country. Because only a slave is shed of the right of freedom of expression and assembly, as we have seen in this country.
This protest started as a result of the dissatisfaction of citizens with the state of the country. It started as a result of the acute hunger in society. It started as a result of the disillusionment that has covered every aspect of our lives as Nigerians.
They said the only thing that can stop them from embarking on the protest is if government can rise up now and address socio-economic issues bedeviling the country.
Surgery removal. Our lives as we know it have been transformed for the worse. Inflation has gone sky high, and with it, prices of food, energy, medicine, and other essentials. The national currency has also been devalued at least twice, something which has also crushed the value of income and the living standards of all of us. So bad is the situation that according to several estimates, over 26 million Nigerians are at risk of starvation this year.
Capitalists are money conscious and profit oriented. All they think about is their selfish interests. If not, our common wealth is enough to sustain this nation.
The coalition warned against any plan by hoodlums to hijack the planned peaceful protest because, according to them, they have no reason whatsoever to be violent. From Lagos, this is Lebby Joseph reporting for Galaxy TV News.
Protest as a way of publicly making opinions heard in an attempt to influence public opinion on government policy, which may undertake direct action in an attempt to enact desired changes. The plan of some Nigerians to embark on protests on the first day of August is basically to speak out their minds about the current socio-economic situations in the country. Galaxy News correspondent Lebby Joseph tells us more in this report.
Recent experimental evidence shows that protests does have casual outcomes, and very few have ever led to policy change. Engaging relevant authorities in roundtable discussions could be more effective than embarking on protests.
Going to biting inflation, sometimes I think Nigerians are not even living far worse than the multi-dimensional poverty categorization. So it's crazy, it's cost of living is on the high side. And yet, minimum wage is nothing to go about. So yeah, Nigerians are protesting generally in demand for good governance.
We all know hardship. We all know hunger.
In fact, if there's anybody who doesn't know hunger, then the person must be in Asorok and some of the political appointees. We all know hardship, we all know inflation, we all know what is going on in this country. So these are the causes of the agitation. Once it is realized that somebody would only be able to sleep after eating, but because the person has not been able to eat the whole night, he will not sleep. Social unrest could pose a risk to the global economy's recovery, as it can have a lasting impact on economic performance. In a paper last year by IMF, it shows that unrest can have a negative economic impact as consumers become spooked by uncertainty and output in manufacturing and services.
We are demanding that price of energy should be brought back to where it was before. You know, that this whole argument of that Tinubu reverses his policies on fuel subsidy. We are demanding reversal of electricity tariff hike. We are demanding a living wage for workers. We are demanding that government addresses the biting inflation in the country. Nigerians cannot afford food any longer. Even Gary, which used to be adjudged as poor man's food, it now takes a rich man to afford Gary. Nigerians practically can afford nothing.
We cannot continue to live like this. We cannot continue to behave. And the worst of all is that the people that are supposed to be our leaders are not feeling it at all. They are not even pretending to feel it. They are not pretending to understand that we are hungry. What they do is that, I can't even imagine somebody talking about buying a brand new jet for the president at this time when you have fleet of jets in the presidential fleet. And then you have the house that the vice president was living, and they now said they needed to complete a brand new place for him to move into, and they spent 21 billion naira. One major concern of the people is hijacking of peaceful protests by hoodlums, which could result to violent and thereby affect peaceful cohabiting of the people and create free hand for looting and physical attacks.
Is that they should not turn the thing into violence. They should not make us, who are supposed to be the beneficiaries of their action, to become victims. Because the moment you go into the street and you start looting shops, destroying properties that don't belong to government, and all these other destruction, you are indirectly saying that I don't even want the people that will benefit from this to survive. You are killing the people.
Protest is a constitutional right of every citizen, without which we are not citizens. So, and in the history of protests in Nigeria, protesters have always been peaceful. But whenever protests degenerate into violence, it is the states that makes it violence, you know, and we have answers to show for it. Answers even by the judicial panel of inquiry was adjudged peaceful. The panel of inquiry resolved or passed that protesters were peaceful. The only time violence happened was when the government introduced it, when they came to shoot at protesters at Lekki.
From Lagos, this is Lebi Joseph reporting for Galaxy TV News.
3 organizations take it back: North Central Middle Belt Economic Forum and Renewed Hope Prosperity ambassadors, who had earlier indicated their intentions to stage hunger strike protest, have cancelled their planned protest in the northern state, including Abuja. They cited concerns about potential destabilization and harm to the communities as a reason for their decision. At a joint press conference in Abuja, the groups explained that they made the decision after careful consideration and a productive meeting with the Minister of Water Resources, Professor Joseph Utsev. Dr. Amudu Ben, while speaking on behalf of the groups, commended the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, and other stakeholders in the North Central region for their effort in maintaining peace and order. The groups maintained that the protest was called off not out of fear or intimidation, but due to a deep understanding of the current political climate and potential consequences.
Careful appraisal and interaction with the Honorable Minister of Water Resources, we have come to the realization that
our grievances can be addressed through constructive dialogue and in collaboration with the government. We recognize that the right to protest is an inherent and fundamental aspect of citizenship, and we firmly believe that such expressions should always be characterized by peace and tranquility. However, it is essential to prioritize constructive engagements and dialogue to avoid the catastrophic consequences of violence and destruction.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has reiterated readiness to conduct free, fair and credible elections in the forthcoming governorship elections in Edo and Ondo State. Chairman of the INEC, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, gave the indication at the third regular consultative meetings with civil society organizations held at the INEC headquarters in Abuja on Tuesday. Mahmood noted that the final register for the forthcoming elections is being finalized following the conclusion of continuous voters registration and the further data cleanup using the automated biometric identification system. He said the Commission will publish the final figures of the new voters in the two states as well as their distribution by gender, age, occupation and disability, while soliciting for partnership from the CSO to encourage the citizens to collect their PVCs. INEC chairman also urged them to identify efforts towards submitting the list of observers to the INEC indicated a dedicated portal for swift production and delivering of accreditation tags in good time.
Before the end of this week, the Commission will publish the final figures of new voters in the two states, as well as their distribution by gender, age, occupation, and disability. Thereafter, the timetable for the collection of uncollected permanent voters cards, the PVCs, from previous registration and new registrants from the latest CVR will be published. Based on the information provided by the Commission, we look forward to your partnership in encouraging citizens to collect their PVC.
Governor Basani of Kaduna State has called on students to shun any protest or activity that will destabilize the peace in Kaduna State. Governor Sani, who served as a special guest of honor, made the call at the Students' Development Summit organized by Senior Special Assistant on Student Affairs with the theme Student-Centric Governance. In his remarks, the governor highlighted some of the achievements in the educational sector. He used the opportunity to call on the students to shun any protest or activity that would destabilize the peace in Kaduna State. Other speakers at the Student Summit appealed to students to embrace entrepreneurship and skill acquisition, as certificate alone cannot guarantee job employment.
Since we were elected, we made it clear to everyone in Kaduna State that education is the greatest level. And because of that, the most important agenda of our government is education. That is the reason why, if you look at our budget, we decided to budget about 40% of our entire budget goes to education. And the reason is simple. When I say 40%, because 25% is in the main budget, but somewhere along the line, we have decided also to put in about 15% in our supplementary budget to support skills.
At the state level, the president also identified the out-of-school children and those of our colleagues who are dropping out every day. And that is why the president came up with the student loan scheme. I'm sure that it started since last week when I came in Abuja, and I'm sure it will get down to our various campuses.
We must shun all forms of protests and revolts aimed at turning the significant strides, because the government is doing so well. These are trying times, and I beg to tell you, because we're students, I'm sure you Google, you know that this is global. It's not just Nigeria. You have recession in almost all the countries. So these are trying times. I beg you, you should never be allowed as tools to undermine what the government is doing now.
Bayelsa State Governor Doidiri has reiterated his administration's commitment towards maintaining peace and stability in the state amid calls for protest. The governor made this known during the 34th State Security Council meeting at the Government House in Yenagoa. Governor Diri vowed not to tolerate any action that would jeopardize public peace and bring down the state, saying the Bayelsa State government cannot fold its hands and watch people bring down the state.
Government, we are feeling it, but we cannot, because of some temporary problems that we have, bring down our country, bring down our state. Bayelsa State government will not stand idle to see anybody bringing down this country or bringing down the state.
The Defense Headquarters has taken bold steps in the Safe School initiative of the federal government meant to safeguard schools from attack. It will be recalled that the DHQ held a Safe School Summit in May this year, which is aimed at providing a secured and safe learning environment for the advancement of national development. Galaxy TV Bosan Yakusaik has details in this report.
The Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, said the Save the School Children Summit was to secure positive contributions of stakeholders to the success of the initiative. Musa, while declaring the Northwest Save Children Summit open at the 1 Division Nigerian Army Kaduna, said the aim of the interaction was to develop and adopt holistic approaches to guarantee the safety of children in schools. CDS was represented by Major General Emeka Victor Onamujuru, Chief of Defense and Training Defense Headquarters Abuja, said the success of the Safe School initiative will require utmost commitment of all stakeholders, while the special guest of honor and Governor of Kaduna State, Senator Upasani, represented by Samuel Aruan, reiterated the need for a secured and safe school for students to learn.
And judging by the huge and eminent personalities in this hall today, it means that we all subscribe and buy into that idea of our children schooling in a very safe environment. The theme of this workshop is providing a secure and safe learning environment for the advancement of national development. We all agree that without education, our ability to achieve national development will be limited.
Education is the hope of every child, and it is tragedy for children to be cruelly robbed of this hope by criminals. It was only befitting, therefore, that the Kaduna State government, led by His Excellency Governor Obasani, to prioritize security of schools in its agenda.
The General Officer commanding 1 Division Nigerian Army, Major General Mirenso Saraso, said the summit was in the interest of the dear nation, while calling on all stakeholders at the summit to work assiduously to build a strong, safer, more secured and prosperous future for our children and our beloved country.
It is clear that to secure schools in the state or in the Northwest region as a whole, all hands must be on deck. In the words of Nelson Mandela, I quote, "Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world," unquote. Gleaning on this, the Defense Headquarters, considering the existential threat to education of Nigerian children,
those basic things they need to do to help other security agencies in the protection of our school, and also to provide enablers or have some power bikes that they are required to be able to get to where most of these schools are located. We also have communication equipments we need to issue out to them to make it seamless in case they have to respond. We don't plan to respond, we want to be proactive, but just in case we need to respond, let the troops know what they're supposed to do. So that is why we are here.
CDS assured that the military was committed to provide the necessary assistance for the security of school children and all learning institutions in the country.
The police in Delta have recovered 2 AK-47 rifles, 2 pump-action guns, 6 locally made guns, and a Beretta pistol, as well as magazines, and 58 rounds of 7.62 mm ammunition were recovered from 8 suspected armed robbers and kidnappers within Delta State. This was disclosed in a statement made available to newsmen by the spokesperson Edafi Bright. According to him, the suspects were arrested by operatives of the State Dragon Patrol team while on stop and search in Asaba and Ughelli axis of the state. One suspect was said to have died during an exchange of gunfire, and the police, as his remains have been deposited at the mortuary. Delta Police Commissioner Olufemi Abaniwanda applauds the commitment and dedication displayed by the officers as he urged them to keep up the tempo in ridding the state of criminal elements. 6 militias have been killed in their hideouts in Logo local government area of Benue by men of Operation Zenda, a joint police operative. On the 27th of July 2024, police operative also nabbed a wanted kidnapper and cattle rustler in Kaina local government of Nasarawa State. The state public relations officer SP Kachina Nene, who briefed newsmen during parade of arrested suspects at the command headquarters in Makurdi, said a suspected highway robber and a native doctor who fortifies them before operation was also arrested. SP Anene, who disclosed that all the suspects will be prosecuted according to law after investigation, says the police is on the trial of those at large and assured they will be brought to book. Items recovered from the suspects are AK-47 rifle ammunition, charms, among many others.
This patrol team along Daudu arrested a suspected kidnapper, one Usman Haldo of Kiana local government area of Nasarawa State, who has been on the wanted list for kidnapping and cattle rustling in Nasarawa and Guma local government areas of Benue State. Investigation is ongoing to arrest other suspects in a team of Operation Zenda Joint Task Force.
The Young Entrepreneurs of Nigeria has appealed to Nigerians to reconsider and shelve any form of protest for national interest. This appeal is coming in respect of the scheduled nationwide protest slated for August 1, 2024 to express displeasure over the current economic state of the nation. Chairman of the association, Chris Kohol, made the appeal while addressing journalists in Abuja on Tuesday. He disclosed that saboteurs are now exploiting citizens' genuine concern to further their evil interest by destabilizing the economy and national unity. He pleaded with all civil rights activists, mothers and sisters to shelve the planned protest and give President Bola Tinubu-led federal government more time to tackle the economic challenges confronting the nation at this time. He also advised Nigerians to work together to support President Tinubu's administration and provide constructive feedback that can drive positive change.
I urge you all to reconsider and shave this protest for our national interests. As Nigerian saboteurs are now exploiting on our genuine concern to further their evil interest by destabilizing our economy, our polity, our national unity, and our national stability.
The chairman further encouraged Nigerian youth to channel their energies into building innovative solutions, creating jobs and driving growth, as well as dialogue over protest and collaboration over confrontation.
Fellow Nigerians, young entrepreneurs, our vibrant Nigerian youths, in the interest of national peace and economic advancement, we plead with you all, including our civil rights activists, our mothers, our sisters, to shape this planned protest and give President Bola Ahmed Tinubu-led federal government more time to tackle the economic challenges confronting us as a nation at this ill time.
And I'll move over to the foreign desk for more news.
Hello and welcome to the Foreign News. Israeli far-right protesters broke into an army base in a show of support for soldiers accused of severely mistreating a Palestinian prisoner there. Large crowds gathered outside the Tayman compound after Israeli military police entered to detain the reservist, who are now subject to an official investigation. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu released a statement strongly condemning the incident and called for an immediate calming of passions. Protesters also broke into a second military base where the reservists were taken for questioning, but a police spokeswoman said officers were able to clear it. His detainment near Beersheba in southern Israel has for months been at the center of reports of serious abuses against Gazan detainees. According to the local media report, at least 9 Israeli soldiers at the base are accused of abusing the Palestinian detainees, a suspected Hamas fighter who was captured in Gaza. He is said to have been hospitalized after what Israeli media reports described as serious sexual abuse and injuries to his anus that left him unable to walk. Security forces in Venezuela have fired tear gas and rubber bullets at people protesting Sunday's disputed election result. Thousands of people descended on central Caracas on Monday evening, some walking for miles from slums on the mountains surrounding the city towards the presidential palace. Protests erupted in the Venezuelan capital the day after President Nicolas Maduro claimed victory. The opposition has disputed Maduro's declaration as fraudulent, saying that after reviewing 73.2% of the voting tallies, it was clear that its candidate Edmundo Gonzalez had won convincingly. Opinion polls ahead of the election suggested a clear victory for the challenger. Opposition parties had united behind Gonzalez in an attempt to unseat President Maduro after 11 years in power. Amid widespread discontent over the country's economic crisis, a heavy military and police presence was on the streets of Caracas with the aim of trying to disperse protesters and prevent them from approaching the presidential palace. Crowds of people chanted "Freedom, freedom," and called for the government to fall. Footage showed tires burning on highways and large numbers of people on the street, with police on motorbikes firing tear gas. At least 93 people have been killed and dozens are still feared trapped after heavy rains triggered massive landslides in the southern Indian state of Kerala. The landslide struck hilly areas in Wayanad district in the early hours of Tuesday. Rescue operations are on the way, but are being hindered by heavy rains and the collapse of a crucial bridge. Officials say more than 200 army personnel have been deployed to assist security forces in search and rescue efforts. Chief Minister Pinari Chinjayan told newsmen that Tuesday's landslide had wiped out an entire area. Local hospitals are treating at least 123 injured, and more than 3,000 people have been rescued and moved to 45 relief camps. And still on foreign news, the International Monetary Fund (IMF) has approved a bailout of $3.4 billion for Ethiopia to support its economic reforms over the next 4 years. The Horn of Africa nation has been struggling with chronic foreign currency shortages and high inflation, largely blamed on the brutal 2-year civil war in Tigray, which ended in 2022. News of the deal came after Ethiopia floated its currency, which analysts say was a key step in securing the loan. Monday's announcement saw Ethiopia's currency, the birr, lose nearly a third of its value against the dollar. The IMF said it will immediately release about $1 billion to help Ethiopia's balance of payment needs and provide support to the budget. Ethiopia, Africa's second most populous country, has also been in talks with its international creditors to restructure its debt. Taiwan has reached an agreement with China over the death of 2 Chinese fishermen in a maritime incident following months of negotiations, a move that could tone down tensions in the sensitive Taiwan Strait. Taiwan's Coast Guard said the settlement had been reached for the families of the fishermen who died while trying to flee after their boat entered prohibited waters. Meanwhile, China claims democratically governed Taiwan as its own territory over the island's strong objections and has stepped up military activities near its recent years, with almost daily incursions into air defense identification zones. Additionally, China's Coast Guard began regular patrols around the Taiwan-controlled Kinmen Island close to its coast in February after the death of the 2 Chinese fishermen. And finally, on foreign news, France recognizes a plan for autonomy for the Western Sahara region under Moroccan sovereignty as the only way of resolving a long-running dispute over the territory. President Emmanuel Macron said in a letter. The dispute dating back to 1975 pit Morocco, which considered Western Sahara its own territory, against the Algeria-backed Polisario Front, which seeks an independent state there. France, as the former colonial power in the region, has walked a diplomatic tightrope between Rabat and Algiers on the issue. Most of France's Western allies already back Morocco's plan. Macron said Paris views Western Sahara as part of Morocco's present and future sovereignty, adding that France would act according to the position domestically and internationally. And that's all we have on the foreign news.
And up next is entertainment news.
Welcome to Entertainment News. My name is Rose Blossom Mwe. Here are the stories on today's news.
Nollywood actress Motilola Akinlami has tendered a public apology over her criticism of the popular historical movie House of Gar. House of Gar is a historical action drama focusing on how a ruthless kingmaker reigns over the Oyo Empire until his son disposes of him. The movie, which featured the likes of Femi Adebayo, Ibrahim Chata, Bimbo Manuel, Jide Oyegbile, Toyin Ibrahim, Adeniyi Johnson, Femi Branch, Funke Akindele and more, was directed by the award-winning filmmaker Bolanle Austin Peters. In a since-deleted post, Motilola had made a review of the movie, which didn't sit well with many who assumed she was trying to bring down Bolanle's work. Taking to her Instagram page, Motilola set the record straight as she stated that her post was misconstrued to mean she was trying to bring down someone's hard work. She said it isn't the case, as bringing down people's work wasn't in her character. She stated that she recognized the hard work and skill that went into putting together that beautiful work of art, and she merely made an observation that she took down. Giving another review of the movie, Motilola stated that it is a great movie with its own flavors and add-ons, as there are many sides to a coin. She noted how she only saw her side, which she is apologizing for. The Yoruba actress added that there is always a different stroke for different folks. Vanessa, the daughter of talent manager Paulo Okoye, has finally addressed pregnancy reports. The stepdaughter of actress Iyabojo has sparked pregnancy speculations after sharing a video of her in a white cropped dress with what appeared to be a baby bump. Many who thought she was expecting her first child took to her comment section to congratulate her on her upcoming bundle of joy. Meanwhile, her stepmother is quite eager for her kids to get married and give her a grandchild. Netizens have trolled Kelly Ray, a Big Brother Niger housemate, after a video of Toby Forge putting pressure on his wife for a ship emerged. Despite being at Biggie's house for 48 hours, housemates are already bonding with one another. Taking the initiative, Toby Forge confessed his feelings for his married co-housemate Cassia, who lives in the house with her husband. Pierre disclosed on stage the day the show was launched that they decided to make the other housemates see them as best friends and not married. This action and decision from them have caused the male housemate Toby to cause a commotion, as he was spotted innocently shooting his shot at Cassia, the married woman. Burna Boy has given fans a preview of what to expect from his next album as a video of him recording a diss track in the studio pops up. The Grammy Award winner was with his crew when he told them to stay quiet while he played a song on his phone. The song was written for his critics, whom he claims are no longer on the street but on blogs and the internet. According to the chorus of the unreleased song, his critics included people hunting for empty seats during his sold-out concert. The Music Stars crew, who has sold out performances, is impressed with the new song.
And that'll be all on Entertainment News. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Rose Blossom Mwe. Bye for now.
And that's all we have on Galaxy Primetime News. Thank you so much for being a part of the news. My name is Nenwang Yumazaka. Goodbye.